We live our lives on a pendulum that swings violently between two extremes. On one side, there is the manic energy of the hustle. We convince ourselves that if we just push harder, sleep less, and grind our teeth, we will finally arrive at the destination. We treat our bodies like enemies to be conquered and our minds like machines to be overclocked. We burn with a white-hot intensity, fueled by caffeine and anxiety. Then, inevitably, the pendulum swings back. We crash. The energy runs out, and we find ourselves in a state of paralysis. We cannot get out of bed. We stare at screens for hours, scrolling through the lives of others, feeling a heavy, dark lethargy. We mistake this collapse for rest, but it is not rest. It is simply the exhaustion of a system that has been abused. We move from the tyrant to the victim, from the soldier to the invalid. We are either burning out or rusting out. And in the silence between these two states, we wonder why we cannot find peace. To understand the mechanics of this trap, we must listen to the sound of an ancient instrument. We must travel to a grove of trees in northern India, where the air is still and the only sound is the rustling of leaves. Among the followers of the Buddha, there was a monk named Sona. Before he took his vows, Sona had been a musician. He was a wealthy young man, skilled in the arts, with soft hands and a sensitive heart. When he joined the order, he brought the same intensity to his spiritual practice that he had once brought to his music. Sona was determined to become enlightened faster than anyone else. He decided that he would not sleep. He would walk in meditation all night, pacing back and forth on the stone path. He walked until the skin on his delicate feet blistered and broke. He walked until the path was stained with his blood. He pushed his mind to the breaking point, demanding that it silence itself. But the more he pushed, the louder his mind became. The peace he sought moved further away. His body was broken, his mind was agitated, and his spirit was crushed. He sat in his small hut, looking at his wounded feet, and decided to give up. He thought he was too weak for this path. He decided to return to his old life, to the comforts of wealth, because he believed he had failed. The Buddha, perceiving Sona's distress, came to his hut. He did not come to scold him. He did not come to tell him to try harder. He sat down on the earthen floor and asked Sona a question about his past life. "Sona," the teacher asked, "when you were a musician, you played the lute, did you not?" Sona nodded. "I did, my lord." "Tell me," the Buddha continued, "when the strings of your lute were wound too tightly, did the instrument produce a pleasant sound? Was it playable?" "No," Sona replied. "If the strings are too tight, the sound is shrill and unpleasant, and if you play them, they will snap." "And when the strings were too loose?" the Buddha asked. "When there was no tension at all, did the lute produce music?" "No," Sona said. "If the strings are loose, there is no sound. The instrument is dead." "So, when does the lute produce music?" "Only when the strings are tuned to the middle," Sona answered. "Neither too tight nor too loose. There must be tension, but it must be balanced. That is when the note rings clear." The Buddha smiled. "It is the same with your practice. Too much energy leads to restlessness and agitation. Too little energy leads to laziness and apathy. You must tune your energy like the string. You must find the middle way. This story is often misunderstood. We hear middle way and we think of something boring. We think of compromise or mediocrity or simply doing the bare minimum. But that is not what the lute teaches us. The middle way is not a place of average effort. It is a place of resonance. A perfectly tuned string is not relaxed. It is under tension. But it is the right amount of tension. It is the tension that allows it to vibrate freely. Look at how we apply this misunderstanding to our modern lives. We are terrible luthiers of our own souls. We are constantly snapping our strings or letting them hang loose. Think of the way you approach your work or your passion. You decide you want to achieve a goal, so you tighten the peg. You work 16 hours a day. You skip meals. You isolate yourself from your friends. You tell yourself that this pain is necessary for success. You become irritable. You snap at your partner. Your mind buzzes with a frantic, high-pitched frequency. You are the over-tightened string. You are making a sound, but it is not music. It is a screech. And eventually, you snap. When the string snaps, you swing to the other side. You abandon the project entirely. You fall into a slump. You stop exercising. You eat whatever is easiest. You tell yourself that you are listening to your body, but really, you are just drowning in apathy. Now the string is flopping against the wood. There is no sound at all. We see this in our relationship with health. We go on extreme diets. We starve ourselves. We run until our knees ache. Then, 3 weeks later, we are eating everything in the pantry. We see it in our emotional control. We repress our anger, tightening and tightening, smiling when we want to scream, until one day we explode over a minor inconvenience. The wisdom of Sona's lute is that it asks us to stop looking at intensity as a virtue. Intensity is not effectiveness. Volume is not melody. How do we practice this tuning? How do we find the pitch that creates resonance? It begins with deep observation. You must learn to listen to the tone of your own being. You must check your tuning every day, perhaps every hour. If you feel snappy, notice that word. If you are reactive, anxious, unable to sit still, or if your thoughts are racing like trapped birds, your string is too tight. The solution is not to push through. The solution is to loosen the peg. This means deliberately stepping back. It might mean taking a walk without your phone. It might mean sleeping an extra hour. It might mean saying no to a task. This is not laziness. This is maintenance. You are preventing the instrument from breaking. On the other hand, if you feel dull, heavy, or indifferent, your string is too loose. You have lost the necessary tension that life requires. In this state, self-care can become a trap. You do not need more rest. You need engagement. You need to tighten the peg. This means setting a small, achievable goal. It means getting out of the house, even if you do not feel like it. It means introducing a little bit of structure to your chaos. The goal is not to stay in one state forever. The luthier must constantly adjust. The weather changes, and the wood of the instrument expands and contracts. Life changes. Some weeks are stormy, some are calm. You cannot set your tension once and forget it. You must be in a constant, gentle dialogue with yourself. Am I too tight? Am I too loose? There is a beautiful efficiency in the middle way. When a string is tuned correctly, You do not have to pluck it hard to make a loud sound. A gentle touch creates a rich, long-lasting vibration. When you are living in alignment with your own nature, work feels less like a battle and more like a flow. You can do more, but you are less tired. We are afraid of this balance. We are addicted to the extremes because the extremes feel dramatic. The extremes make us feel like heroes or martyrs. The middle path feels quiet. It requires a different kind of discipline, the discipline of gentleness. Sona learned to walk without bleeding. He learned to meditate with a smile rather than a grimace. And in that balance, he found the awakening he had been chasing. He stopped trying to conquer the mountain and learned to climb it. Tonight, imagine your life as that instrument. Look at the areas where you are struggling. Are you forcing a result with a violence that is destroying you? Or are you hiding from the world in a fog of avoidance? Reaching for the tuning peg requires courage. It takes courage to rest when the world tells you to run. It takes courage to start moving when comfort tells you to stay still. Listen to the sound you are making. Is it a desperate screech? Is it a dull thud? Or is it a clear, resonant note that hangs in the air? You are the musician. The music is up to you. Don't break the string. Just tune it.